If you follow a diet, eventually you're just going to go back to the store and buy all the things that you know work.
It's convenient and inexpensive sometimes.
Right.
Hi everyone, welcome to my little homeschool. As usual, I'm so glad to have you here today. I have a special guest and I'm so excited that she's here.
Hi, what's up? My name is Karlee. My last name is Horton, but you can go by Karlee. I have the Instagram, Karlee Talks Nutrition, and that's actually how we met. But we're here together because we wanted to talk about food today, which is obviously one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Mine too.
Yeah, for sure. Especially having 4 kids or 5 kids?
4.
4 kids in a home, and especially I'm sure a lot of you moms out there are cooking all 3 meals right now. We love to talk about food. So that's what we're here going to do. We're going to take a look at the kitchen, maybe do some shopping. I do have a few things. I love to talk about food, obviously, because I'm learning about it. So I would love to learn some things about cooking for all these kids, and I would love to share what I know from, I'm in school to be a registered dietitian at Sacramento State University. And then also, I just got certified as a certified nutrition coach through the AANCs, which is just the American Association of Nutritional Consultants. And so, we want to share some information, and we wanted to record it to share with you guys as well.
Absolutely. I am so excited. Let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Karlee is going to talk to us about the food.
Yes, food. So, food is a big part of our lives, right? And like I said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, probably pretty much every mom right now, or just like everybody in general, we're making our own meals, and maybe you're not used to finding lots of different recipes or whatever. But as far as, which we're not going to go over recipes today, I'm not the best with that one, but I am good with like looking at different products of food. So we have some food laid out here, and we're just going to talk about them real quick. And just basically just evaluating. I know it's going to sound like constructive criticism, but we're just going to take a look, and that way when you're in the grocery store, you know what things to look for on the labels, and all of that.
Yes.
So first things first, you want to talk about the peanut butter?
Sure.
Okay. So with peanut butter, I know there's health products or like health channels or people out there that are like, oh my gosh, so many calories. Okay, first things first, calories are calories. A calorie is just a measurement of something, you know what I mean? Like, we still need food in our bodies. So whether we're getting the calories from something unhealthy or processed, or something, you okay? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to keep going if you want me to. Right. So, do you want to start with the peanut butter?
Sure.
Okay. So we have 2 peanut butters here. We got Jif and we have Adams. So I actually did post about this the other day. So I think it probably sparked your interest a little bit. But anyways, peanut butter is really, a lot of people say, oh, it's so many calories and it's so little. I don't know about you guys, but I feel something different when I eat like a tablespoon of peanut butter and a tablespoon of whipped cream.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's very fulfilling. And even though people say, if you chew more of your food, you might feel fuller. To me, personally, it's different for everybody, but you're still getting, the calories are calories. You got to be full, And so whether you're getting it from peanut butter, that's a whole food. Peanut butter, what I explain as whole foods is something that you keep it intact. So this is really just, or not this, but this is peanut butters or peanuts that's just turned around in a blender or whatever, and those food processors, and then it's turned all the way down until it gets to butter, and then of course oil comes out from the peanuts, and then you get that separation. But they didn't take anything out of it. They didn't concentrate anything like that. Do you want to pause it?
What in the world? I don't ever have visitors. So.
Gotcha. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so peanuts, it's processed, but it's still intact. It's everything in the peanut, it's just in a different form. So to me, peanut butter is perfectly fine for you, and you know, obviously if you eat too much of anything, you're gonna miss out on some sort of nutrient. So don't overdo it, but that's anything. For me, like, people say like juices or smoothies, the difference is the whole strawberry, the whole banana is in a smoothie. They just blend it up. But in juice, they pull it out, so that takes out the sugars and all of that, you know what I mean? So peanut butter is healthy, guys. And then as far as like which ones to get, you always want to do, when you turn on the nutrition label, you want to look at the ingredients. First things first, like this stuff is important, like all the other information about the numbers, yeah, you want to look at, but it doesn't even matter if you don't look at the ingredients. So what I do in the store is you see me looking at the ingredients first things first. So I gotta talk about the gym first. So when I see made from roasted peanuts and sugar. Okay, so they added sugar, which is most of everything, because sugar tastes good, you know? Sugar's not bad. We need sugar. We need, you know, glucose in our blood. If we don't have enough glucose, there's problems. So we definitely need sugar, but the thing is, people want to add it to everything. So when you can cut it out, do it, especially if it's not naturally coming.
So we usually have an overabundance of sugar.
Right, okay. Yeah, because people add it to everything. But whereas like if we have a fruit, so say we have like this, yeah, this has sugar. But I'm not telling you not to eat this, because it's natural in that it comes with all the vitamin C, vitamin A that is in this tangerine, fiber. There's so many other things that I don't even remember that is in this tangerine. Yeah. So that's when people say naturally occurring sugars, the sugar molecule is not different. It's still the same sugar molecule, but it comes with so many more vitamins and minerals in this than when they just add it by itself to this. Wow. So that's
very good to know.
Yeah, for sure. So look out for added sugars. But the reason why they use different ones is because if you see the first ingredient is peanuts on this, which is good. You don't want a peanut butter that has more sugar than peanuts in it, you know? But I don't know about Jif, but some companies do this where they'll do sugar and then they'll have a different form of sugar, like honey, you know? Wow. Honey's basically just concentrated sugar. So then peanuts still shows up at the top, because when you split the two sugars, they end up not being the first one on the ingredients. Wow. So I don't know if that's what they did here, but definitely look out for that as well. It has fully hydrogenated vegetable oils, and then mono and diglycerides and salt. So hydrogenated vegetable oils. So that's kind of what you're going to talk about. You might want to pull that in right now. Okay. Go ahead. So this is fully hydrogenated vegetable oil as well. And the reason why it kind of sounds appealing, right? Because it's vegetable oil. Vegetable. Yeah, and this one is just soybean oil. This vegetable oil is from soybean and rapeseed. I don't really know what that is, but the whole thing about vegetable oil is, if you think about a vegetable, I don't know if you like, if we have, say, a piece of celery. Is celery oily? Like, no. So for them to make vegetable oil, or even from a soybean is not oily. For them to extract that oil out of there, it takes a lot of processing, heating, cooling, mushing, all this stuff, and then like only taking a little bit part of that soybean, and then you have a whole thing of vegetable oil. Wow. And so the reason why olive oil is better, and I know there's so many things that you cook without that you need oil for, but the reason why olive oil is better is because an olive is kind of oily. Like when you kind of can like, you can see it a little bit. It's more glistening.
It's naturally oily.
Right. So when that's more whole to more whole to an olive than this is to a soybean. Yeah, you know,
that makes sense.
You're getting more of the natural part of that olive. So that's one thing that we want to look out for the Jif peanut butter. It has sugar and oils, which is basically everything. But the Adams peanut butter, which is my suggestion when it comes to peanut butter, I think there are a couple other ones too. but it just has organic roasted peanuts and then salt, 1% or less of salt. And so,
do you want to join us?
hey, this is, what's his name?
His name is Joey.
Joey. Hey, Joey. He's getting this apple right there. Look at him. So, yeah, add this peanut butter, it's the same thing. You know, it's still peanut butter. They just don't add the stuff in there. And yes, it's going to taste different, but the transition can happen. You know, you don't have to put all of this into your kids' sandwich all at once, you know, like, because they're going to tell the difference. Especially if it's not with jelly or something, you know. So maybe mix it up, you know, put 1 tablespoon of this, one tablespoon of this, and slowly transition that. And then, of course, making that switch is probably a little bit of an easier transition than, say, you know, the 2 breads we're going to talk about next. You know, this is going to be a lot harder of a transition than the peanut butter. But I definitely suggest slow transitions and maybe not even telling your kids that you're doing it, you know.
Like, good idea.
You know, because then they'll, all of a sudden, you'll just stop buying this kind. And they won't even realize, or if they do, you can say, no, I've been using this in your sandwiches. You haven't even wanted that. So, and then they'll, I of course, I don't have kids, but I get that would be my guess that they're a little bit similar to humans or not humans, a little bit similar to adults. In that slow transitions just make for a better lifestyle.
So not going cold turkey.
Yes.
Okay.
Do not go cold turkey.
Got it.
You can't just, because the thing is, it's so much easier to just revert to back what you were before cold turkey.
It is.
Whereas if you're making slow transitions, it's like, well, there's nothing to really revert back to. Like, my life is not that different than it was a week ago.
That's true.
Might as well keep going. You know what I mean? So next thing is the bread. So certain people in your family like to eat certain foods. And I know, and that happens in my house too. Like, you will find, not this bread, but you will find like the super white sourdough bread in my house, because that's what my brother likes to eat, you know, and he is obviously health conscious because I talk to him all the time.
Awesome.
But that's one thing that he just hasn't been able to transition from yet. You know, like he can't eat his sandwiches with this kind of bread yet. He just can't, you know. So what he has made changes. He uses hummus on his sandwiches instead of like mayonnaise or mustard, which is a lot healthier than mayonnaise. So what I'm trying to say is, like, people are at different spots in their journeys, you know, like different transitions in their nutritional journeys. And so it's okay for one person to be eating a certain kind of bread and then one person not eating that bread. And even though it could be hard for the person trying to come off of the bread, just remember, if you want it, just make a deal with yourself. Say, okay, I'll have maybe 1 slice of this bread and then 1 slice of the other bread, and then encourage it for your other family members as well. And let them know the facts. People want science. Especially like people that are brained like me. People want that science of knowing, you know, why not have this bread. I know it's unhealthy, but why? You know, you can't just say that's unhealthy, don't eat it. You moms, I know it's a lot of work to ask you to do everything that you already do for your whole family and then do some food science research. I know what I'm asking is a lot, but if we think about the food that we're putting into our bodies, it's our gas, it's our fuel. We don't put nasty gas in our cars because we want our cars to last. So why would we put processed foods into our own bodies? And I know why. It's because they have this stuff, they have sugar, all of that. But if you want to make that transition, just know going slow is going to be so much better, because you're not going to have it, like we were saying earlier, there's nothing to revert back to. So this bread is better because if we look at the ingredients, first of all, just generally, before I even look at the ingredients, just generally speaking, when it comes to grains and whole grains, there is such a huge difference. And I was just telling her about this earlier. Hello again, Erica. You're good. And so I was just telling her about this. before you even look at the ingredients on the bread, if it does not say 100% whole wheat, then it's not the best bread. You know, that doesn't mean, I'm not saying don't buy it, because I don't know where you are in your nutritional journey. Maybe this bread is better than, I mean, I don't know a worse bread, but like, I just don't look at the breads. But, you know, if you're coming off, this is definitely better than a Hostess donut. You know, if you have Hostess donuts for breakfast every morning and you want to transition to this and peanut butter, or even this and Nutella, that's a lot better than the donuts. And maybe that's your first step in your transition, you know.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, but just generally speaking, if it doesn't say 100% whole wheat bread, it's not going to be the same, because what they do in the wheat germ, they just take it all apart and they take the part that they want that is easiest to process. And this goes way back in ancient history, not ancient, but it goes back to, you know, industrialism, when they would just want to take the easy part, so that it would be easy to make white bread. Obviously we know it's softer and all of that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the vitamins that they miss out on are a lot of vitamins. And so, what they do to make it sound like it's not that bad is they'll add some vitamins back in. And so I think I was looking at this ingredients earlier. Oh yeah, so it says enriched wheat flour. So it doesn't matter if it says wheat, because all they could basically do is have all white and then add a little bit of the wheat and then call it wheat bread. That doesn't mean they kept the whole grain together. When it says 100% whole wheat, they kept the whole grain. But when it just says wheat, that they don't necessarily have to put much at all. And what they'll do, this bread doesn't do it, but what they'll do is they'll say wheat bread, and then they'll dye it with caramel color. So it looks like this bread, but it's not this bread. And you're like, oh, I love this bread, it's my favorite, it's healthy and it tastes the best. But people don't realize that it doesn't say 100% whole wheat, so it's not actually very much wheat at all. So, but what they do is they'll take a little bit apart, they won't even use the wheat jacket, and that has all the vitamins, and then they'll say enriched wheat flour. And you're like, oh, so not only is this flour, but this is enriched with vitamins. But really, it's enriched after already, yeah, we're gonna have like little pop-ups here.
Sorry.
It's
Hashtag
awesome.
real life, Mom.
Right? This is totally real life. And so that's just generally speaking when it comes to bread. Plus it has sugar.
In here, which we already know, soybean oil, which is vegetable oil, it's the same thing. And then just random chemicals like calcium sulfate, calcium propionate, I can't even, that's a preservative. And so grain vinegar, citric acid isn't that bad, but it's really just keeps it fresh in like everything. So, but the thing is with this bread, when I read this, it says organic.
So these cookies, so like I'm sure you guys probably know that these are not the best option. And just because it's clear that they're just very processed. I mean, you can't find a cookie from the ground, you know, you can't grow a cookie. It's like, what is even in a cookie? Like a wheat, you know? So like it's a bunch of different things, you know? So again, the unbleached enriched flour, which we know is flour that's been enriched, but after it already took a bunch of vitamins out of it. So, ends up not being very nutritious of flour. And then semi-sweet chocolate chips, which contain sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter.
Dextrose, milk, soy, sugar, canola oil, palm oil, high fructose corn syrup, and then leavening, I don't really know what that is.
But I think that's what helps the cookie like rise. So it has like baking soda, ammonia.
Phosphate in it, so, and then caramel color, and salt.
It's just that like we were talking about earlier, it's so much of it.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to find something that satisfies that same craving, and especially for your kids too. So think about it. It's crunchy, it's sweet, has chocolate in it. There's nothing wrong with chocolate. Chocolate comes from a plant, you know. Cocoa is a plant. So like when I was trying to come off of like chocolate milk, I would do like almond milk and then put actual like 100% unsweetened cocoa in there. And then I would slowly stop adding sweetener.
Wow.
Like, you know, and so for something like this, if you're in the mood for like a cookie type thing, I would say having like a piece of toast, because you're getting that whole grain instead of this fake grain or just like not whole grain. And then you can put something that you like on there. So I like almond butter a lot. It tastes a lot different than peanut butter to me. Or you can add...
I actually have some if you want to see it.
Oh yeah, let's look at it for sure.
Let's see, right here. I don't know if it's the right kind or...
Oh yeah, this is good. So she has the vanilla almond butter. So yeah, just look around because sometimes they put like cool flavors in there and it just helps. You know, eating healthy should be something that you love. If you hate eating healthy, it's not eating healthy because it's not healthy for you to be doing something that you hate doing. So you gotta make it something that you love, no matter how long it takes. Know how to like that transition. If it takes you a year for you to transform your kitchen, it's okay. You know, at least you're doing it.
Also, I think it's because it's not sustainable to just keep it like that.
For sure. Yeah, it's not sustainable. If we did this video in here and I was like, all right, we're gonna throw this away and like we throwing everything out the cabinets. It's like all the kids every day, are we gonna eat that again? And then you wouldn't know all the new things to cook because it's every single meal is different now. Every single snack.
It'd be so overwhelming, I think.
Right.
And it has been for me in the past.
Yeah, for sure. If you follow a diet, eventually you're just going to go back to the store and buy all the things that you know work.
It's convenient and inexpensive sometimes.
Right. And so that's why slowly figuring out things, like if you're worried about finances, maybe not get this almond butter because it's pretty expensive. Get some almonds instead. Get it from the bins, you know, and there are ways that you can slowly start transitioning and you can do it. Honestly, I think I spend less money on food now that since I've stopped eating meats and just like cheese. It's that kind of stuff. It costs a lot.
That's true.
And people don't always like realize it because it's like that's the base of my meal. It's like if I'm having a chicken.
You're more plant-based.
Yeah, I'm more plant-based. I will eat milk and dairy products, and I will eat meat. But that's just because I feel like it's healthier for me in the moment. I value, family time. I don't want to go eat something separate. And I feel like that weighs on my mental, like it's not mentally healthy for me to do that all the time because I will feel deprived, even if I'm full. Just because you are full doesn't mean you didn't feel deprived. You can be deprived and you got to listen to your body.
Yes,
for sure.
Good. That's good.
So find something. It's going to take an experiment. We are our own science projects, experiment, find something that satisfies the same craving. It could be dates, just something to satisfy it, and then you can switch it around all you want to as time goes on, for sure. And then I think the last thing we were talking about was chia seeds. So when I saw these in her, when I saw these in her cabinet, I was like, oh, let's talk about those, because I don't think a lot of parents realize how cool these things are, because you just get a bag and it lasts you for a while, and they have so much protein in it. Like like little bobas at the bottom.
Like a boba.
Yes, exactly. Like little bobas at the bottom have a lot of omega-3s, so that way you don't have to get it from fish. Yeah, from animals, but especially fish. Just because fish, we could talk about fish a different day, but you don't risk the mercury in it. You don't risk like the fact that there just aren't a lot of nutrients besides omega-3 in fish. And it's not really regulated by the FDA when you put it in supplements. So this is basically a supplement, but better because it's not technically a supplement. It's not extracting anything. It's whole, and they call it a superfood. So, and then protein and fiber. So chia seeds are a win for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
So we're going to go and talk about one more subject, real talk. So stick with us and we'll see you soon.
Yes, for sure.
Bye.
I didn't know if I was going to start talking about it or not.
Thanks for watching. Please hit that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video is uploaded. I appreciate your support. Please click that like button, that subscribe button, and welcome to My Little's Homeschool family. Thank you so much.